Hey, good morning everybody. Here at Fernand Rod and Gun Club. Gonna do some testing on the new Recky 5s. My BCM 14.5. We got a Colt 14.5 upper here, and then an 11.5 here. No gas mitigation on any of these, just stock bolt carriers.
So we're going to be testing the new Griffin Armament Recky 5K against an old like Gen 2 just standard Recky 5, and then we have our control can, the Rugged Razor 5.56.
We're using the taper mounts because that's the only way that these Griffin Reckys come. We've got close time flash hiders because those old 3 prongs, they kind of have a little bit of a ping to them, so I really like the way that these look, and they sound a little bit better too. And then just the standard Rugged Razor mount. So let's get to it.
Rugged just dropped the Surge X for at SHOT Show, which has got a hub back on it too. So this is a legacy mount. This is our controlled unit here on the Rugged, but I'm excited to actually try the new Rugged X when it comes too. That's going to be it's going to be pretty slick. So let's see what it sounds like.
Hey guys, so first up we've got the Rugged Razor 5.56 on the BCM 14.5, shooting XM193 from Winchester.
So we're going to be testing the old school Recky 5 on a Colt 14.5 pin and weld. Let's see how it sounds. I'm curious to see this tone compared to the new one here in a minute. So. It is gassy.
On a 14.5.
Yeah, it's old school.
Oh, that's old. That's true. A Colt 11.5, new Recky 5K, iPro, XM193.
Yeah, get John struggling.
He's on the struggle back there. We need to throw an Israeli loader.
Tripper clips. Somebody said these were better. Sure as hell wasn't me.
Probably the U.S. military. They never lie.
They never lie. The Sig Spear is the greatest gun ever.
Ooh. What we mean by that for our Sig fans? I'm just kidding.
The Sig 338 machine gun is going to replace the 240 Bravo.
Quit it.
It's not 338, isn't it?
It is.
I thought it was 277.
It's a 338.
Unfortunately, thanks to Ronald Reagan, I'll never know. Should look at the machine gun ban. Was that 1986?
Yes.
A little history for you. All right. What next?
How hot? How hot is hot?
It's probably very hot. So that's another thing. Dual wall suppressors. You know, this has baffle design and then a core over the top of it. It's gonna stay hot for much longer.
Andy, where's your mitt?
Conversely, it's gonna take longer to heat up, so it's a double-edged sword.
I already got it, it's too late. Looks so much easier.
So we'll test that on 14.5.
It's not bad. Here. Yeah. Here you go. Good. I want to hear this one. Down.
Alright guys, XM193, Recky 5K, Colt 14.5 upper.
Older Recky 5 on that Colt 11.5 upper. We'll see how she goes on this shorter one.
Snow. You see how it sounds good.
I have been running this exact suppressor since 2019, and it is performed to this day. You know, it's one of my favorite cans. It's a little heavy being that dual wall, but she's consistent. Like cast iron pan.
That's a good point, actually.
Sounded really good on that gun.
Yeah.
That's the best SBR can I think I've heard.
And that was my first purchase. First can purchase ever. Out the gate, dedicated 5.56. You want to talk a little bit about that cyclic rate because they changed hot?
Oh, was it speeding up?
It was fast.
Was it really?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the unburnt. So the unburnt powder is driving up back pressure in the can, and then it's just causing it to self-feed. So it's not. We're not close to a cook-off. It's just as everything heats up, everything starts to expand, and then the cyclic rate goes up. So is it noticeable?
Yeah, it sounded good.
Was it ripping?
Apparently, it's a burn down test of my personal suppressor today.
Oh, you know it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is Sam's can. This will be good. Just fucking eat it.
Take it.
All 20 rounds. Let her go. Yeah, she's a little smoky. I think my latch is.
That can is grizzled. It's like flow through. Never heard of her. You want sound suppression? I got it. Yeah.
Love that so much freedom right now.
You want to break a weld?
It won't do
Good
it.
fucking luck, buddy.
Dude, it won't do
I've
it. I'm
tried
telling
for
you, it
years.
won't do
I've
it.
already done that.
They'll fix it anyway. That's the point. They'll fix it. It's not like.
I'm more worried about the gun than that can.
Yeah, get off the gas bar, Joe. I don't want to.
All right, so we got BCM upper with the Rugged Razor 5.56 against the Recky 5K on the
Colt.
the Colt 14.5.
One and one.
Or two.
Huh.
This thing is very gassy though. It's not nearly as gassy as the older one. Like getting behind this gun, comparing the older style Recky 5 versus the Recky 5K. Like the things that they've done on this suppressor as far as the EcoFlow baffle design and kind of the front cap design. I do feel like it is noticeably less gassy to the user, but it's definitely not a flow-through can. I mean, they're never marketing it to be, but
No.
it's still pleasant, I think.
I bet that would have less flash too than yours
Probably.
in the old gen.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. What's the price point on this thing?
550-ish off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't want to misquote it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll put the price on the internet, but it's
cheap.
it's cheaper than the Explorer.
It's a good can. If you don't mind the weight, I mean, hopefully it translates on video. This thing sounds phenomenal. It's got a great tone.
Yeah, I like it. I think this is going to find its place on 13.9s, 13.7s, 14.5s, I think. And we've discussed about running these smaller K footprints on like 10s and 11s, and it's not my favorite. It works, but it seemed to really shine on this length. So I like it. And that's my go-to gun right there. So this sounds better and it's a little bit quieter, I thought. So I do want to mention this thing's pretty hot. And you saw our failure with the AB mounts and stuff a couple of weeks ago, but these taper mounts, even when they're hot, being able to get that off with some Nomex here, it comes off. It's not. I really like that feature as much as I bitch about its repeatability, or versus that. This thing I can get it off if I need to.
I've never once had any issues with like point of impact shift, taking the suppressor on and off. My zero's never been affected, and like Andy said, being cold like it is now, or hot, or whether the suppressor temperature has been fluctuating, I've never had any issue using the mount itself, getting the suppressor on and off. I will say, operator error, if you don't tighten down the suppressor the correct amount, about a quarter turn past hand tight is what I usually do. It can walk off if you're, doing a relatively busy firing schedule, but again, that's kind of on the operator to make sure you tighten it down properly.
Yeah, I've had a couple issues, but it was all my fault. I had one over tighten, and then it was the same thing as the AB video. We over tightened it when the can was hot and the muzzle device was cold, and I just couldn't get the thing off until I got home and put a wrench on it. And then I've had it walk off on me, I think, once, and I never made that mistake again. So
that was surprisingly tight on there. So I mean, they both expanded at the same rate here, but with a little bit of zhuzh. I got that came off.
Yeah,
it's hot, but I do like that on that taper system, versus the dual lock or even this rugged. And this is my personal setup, and I like it, but it takes two hands to get this thing uncollared, and it's probably okay now, but I don't know why you'd be in a hurry to get that off of there, but sometimes maybe you want to remove it. So I'm going to comment on, I think what I had said earlier, I think we'll put that on. I think a 13.9, 14.5 with this setup and a pin and weld is, I think that's going to be a really good value for everybody on a 5.56. I talked to Mitch at Griffin when they released this thing, and I got early on the back orders, and I said, man, you guys, and maybe it's just me, but I think a Recky 7K in a 30 cal has an application again for some other things. So I think hopefully they'll take that to R&D and do that, because I think it'll be great. This thing's, I'm pretty enthusiastic about that.
Yeah.
Price point's good. It's a double wall can, very robust.
I think having tested it on the short configuration for guns anyway today, it is definitely a gassy suppressor for like SBRs. Manageable though. I mean, I think the trade-off is really good sound suppression, flash mitigation, which we'll show in a future video, and just overall price point. I think it's a winner.
I think it sounded great. It was very comparable to the old one, and it a little bit shorter of a configuration. It sounded great. Any of those K cans are going to be a little bit rough on the SBRs, but I still think it performed very well on that 11.3, or 11.5.
I will touch on that K can conversation too, because this comes up in the store, and I'm sure guys are like, hey, I want a little 10.5 or 11.5, and I want to run the smallest can possible and fold it up with some stupid ass folder and put it in a backpack. But it's just gassy and loud. I have not seen a K can minus the flow work reasonably well. They're just there's not enough internal air volume. And it's just genuinely unpleasant. I wouldn't recommend it. In fact, I think a bigger can on some of those smaller guns is a more logical choice. Again, it makes the package longer, and I get that, but
don't we all want that?
Yeah.
Longer package.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Hey guys, back at the shop here. Just gonna give you some specs on these cans. So Griffin Recce 5K coming in at almost 6 inches, weighing 13.7 ounces, which is kind of heavy, but again, that double wall can. And then your Rugged Razor 556 is 6.4 and 13.4 ounces. Sam knows this one by heart.
Yeah, so the overall length of this guy is closer to the Rugged Razor length at about 6.2 inches. H900 heat treat on 17.4 stainless. Stout, but that dual wall design where you've got that internal layer of baffles with a core over the top. A little bit more reinforcing, but you do get a heavier, more insulated can that way.
And we were talking about K-can versus full size. I don't know if I would honestly call that a K-can. It's super close. So the model is the Recce 5K just because it's a little bit shorter, but you know, compared to some of the other K models, I don't think it's very short. So barely a K.
But form factor, I mean, you get a little bit shorter form factor, so it is nice for the guys that are looking for overall footprint. I will say, hopefully it translates in the video. Sound-wise, these things are very comparable, and you do get a smaller can, even though it's not, you know, a ton, you still get a little bit of length differential between the two. So, and I don't think you're sacrificing quality by any means.
Hopefully a low light shoot coming soon because I want to see these two end caps.
Yep. So thanks for joining us today, guys. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions for us, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Check out our Instagram as well. So as always, thank you guys.
Thank you.